It's another episode of the Ultimate Intimacy Podcast with Nick and Amy. And Amy prepared this one today, so you know it's going to be a good one. Because if I prepare it, it could be iffy.
It could be, no, that's not true. We're gonna start out today with a would you rather question because like we always talk about in like all our episodes, conversation and communication is everything in marriage.
hmm
Like if you want to be best friends, if you want a passionate marriage, if you want to be lovers again, like it really comes down to like having really not just deep conversations, but like fun conversations,
Oh, for sure.
like continually learning about each other. And so before we jump in today's episode, which is on libido,
Is there such thing as libido?
we're going
It's
to talk about
after
it.
that
We're
podcast.
going to talk about it. So I'm gonna ask Nick, throw him on the spot. Would you rather travel into the future together or travel into the past together?
Future, 100%.
Future?
hmm
You would like to travel into the future together?
Yes.
How come?
Well, the past is the past, and I feel like a lot of the things maybe that you go through in life teach you valuable lessons and help you grow and become better. So even though there's like some things in the past I would love to change, I also recognize that maybe I'm the person I am today. Maybe the relationship I have with God and everything is because of those things. So I don't know that I want to mess any of that up. The relationship I have with you today is
Mhm.
because of those things. So
Okay.
that's a long-winded answer. I'm sorry. That was,
It was fabulous. I think that I think that could go deeper, and I think it's really important to like have some fun questions once in a while.
oh yeah.
We get so many comments from people. They're like, I just love your app, but I literally like the most thing I love the most is the conversation starters. Like so many people will write us and be like, we use these on our long drives going out of
Yeah.
town or on date night or when we're just laying in bed. We have these amazing talks. And we found like after 23 years, it's like you would think you would know everything about your spouse after
Oh, we're
20
not
years,
even
right?
close. Yeah.
We get on some of these and I'm like, I can't believe
Well,
we've never talked about this. And then we have an hour long fun conversation about it. So
I don't know if I want to admit this, but I think last time we played the newlywed game with some people, we got smoked.
I know because you get complacent and just literally like stop asking
Yeah.
each
And Amy and
other.
I, honestly, we talk a lot. We have great
Yeah, we do.
conversations. So, but I guess my
Not
point
so
is
newlywed
there's
game.
always room to get to know each other even more. And I agree
Absolutely.
100% with you. Like, if people say, "Oh, I want to spice up my sex life," they immediately think something's wrong with the sex department, right?
Right.
When actually, if you have good communication and talk about things, that's
Hmm.
what's going to improve it more. And
Right.
so I love that you're saying communication because really almost any area of your marriage, if you're off, if you're struggling, that's the core thing
Hmm.
to do is to talk about things.
And that's where you
That'll
get the
fix it.
friendship back. That's
hmm
where you get that deep friendship back. Like go out on a hike, pull out your phone to use the conversation starters, and you're never going to run out of stuff to talk about. And you're going to come back and you're going to be
Yeah,
like, holy
yeah,
cow, not only was that fun, we got outside, but like we had conversations we've never had before.
yeah.
And that's super fun.
And
That's super fun.
yeah, like it's fun. We've had some conversations that have gone an hour, hour and a half at least.
Just from
And
that one
just
question.
from the one question, yeah.
Right. So, anyways, the would you rathers and all the conversation there, we just have hundreds. We have hundreds on the app. Go grab them. It's a great for date night and just all around.
So
So
you didn't give your answer.
I haven't really thought about
Oh,
it.
well, you put me on the spot.
I don't
So,
know. I don't know if I want to know the future for the fact that it scares me. Like, what if something happened to someone? Would I want to know that? What if I lost a child? What if, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to live in anxiety. I don't know
well, hold on.
see, this is where the conversation gets deeper. Like, could I change the outcome? If I go see the future, can I change that? I don't
And
know.
the
I don't
future,
know.
the future could be tomorrow. You could say, yeah, I want to know what's
Yeah,
going to happen.
do I get to pick the date that I get to go
You
see?
do, yeah. With the question not being specific, you get a pick.
So if I can pick the date from 30 years from now and see what that looks like, can I change if I'm allowed to change? I don't know. Like that's just like that's a whole nother conversation, right?
Yeah,
So
you could also say I want to go 90 years from now and you'd be dead. So you'd see
I
just
could just
yourself
be
hopefully
done.
in heaven. No.
I think it'd be fun to go back to the past and kind of like if I did something if I went back to the past and I changed something, would I look different right now? Like I don't know, just conversations, right? Like
Yeah,
it's good. It's good.
absolutely.
Okay, we're gonna get started. Today's episode is 12 facts 12 fascinating facts about libido that maybe you know and maybe you don't know. And the reason we thought about this topic, I keep looking at my phone because I put my list on my phone and I'm going to read them. And they're all
She's
like,
not addicted to her phone during the
no,
podcast. She's answering text messages.
I'm
Like
like, sorry,
now
put it
that
on
is an
speakerphone.
addicted
That would
person.
be bad. Um, the reason we thought of doing this episode is because if you go back a couple episodes with Austin, the licensed and marriage family therapist, he says something in there. I can't remember his exact statement. I don't want to quote him, but he said, libido is not a body part. It is mostly tied to emotions. I don't know, it just really got me thinking because, like, we talk about high libido, low libido. Women are more emotional. Is that why a lot of them lose some libido? The mental stress, we carry it differently. Does that tie to libido? Like, it's just, I don't know. I got thinking a lot about it this
I
past
think
week.
I think men's is definitely tied more
More
physically as
physical.
well, and I think a woman's is more mental. So
Yeah.
her libido is tied to whatever's going on in her head, how she's feeling emotionally, the relationship, things like that. I
Yeah.
think, and I, Amy and I talk about we've done a bunch of episodes on libido, and yeah, there is
Hmm.
definitely certain times where if your body's not feeling good,
Right.
you're not mentally going to feel well and things like that. But I
Yeah.
think for the most part it's tied to how you're feeling, what you're thinking. But
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out in this episode.
Yes.
I would
Yes.
love to learn.
Okay, so fact number one, we're just gonna jump right in. And all of these are like coming off of like psychology websites. Okay, so female libido often starts as responsive and not spontaneous, while 75% of men, about 75% of men experience spontaneous desire or just,
Yeah.
getting aroused out of the blue. Around 70% of women primarily experience responsive desire triggered by emotional or situational cues. That comes from Psychology Today. And we have done an entire episode on that. And that is so true.
Yeah,
Like, I totally agree with that.
so for all the husbands out there, why do I not get home from work and my wife throws me against the wall? Well, that's the reason why. It's going to be more
Why?
emotionally tied to how she's feeling emotionally and like Amy said, responsive, right?
And I know a lot of men are like, that sucks. Like, why can't she just be more physical? Like, there's a reason that
Think
we're not physical. Like,
I mean, think of how chaotic life would be if we both had the same drives.
oh, nothing would get done, maybe? When Austin said that, he also in the podcast went into higher drive wives. He's like, even the women that I meet that have the higher drive than the husband, it's usually longing, that drive is longing out of emotions. They're wanting to feel more connected. That's when they feel connected to their husband is when they have sex. Like he talked about why most, even the higher drive wives, it's more emotional related. And I'm like, okay, I don't experience that, but that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
Right, that
oh,
makes sense.
100%.
So I really like that he said that. But so if you struggle with like, I know we've already kind of done high drive, low drive, whatever, but this episode that we did on responsive versus spontaneous desire, how one person is typically, usually the man is spontaneous and just be like, yeah, let's go to the bedroom. And a wife is like so responsive. Like it depends on the buildup, it depends on the emotions, it depends on what her day was like and where her head is at and all those things. Like I know it's frustrating, but it is a fact and we were made like that for a reason. And
Well,
I think that's what helps us communicate it better, come together more, make it more unifying, you know, in the bedroom is because it does take work outside the bedroom. And I think that's what marriage is all about.
yeah, and I was gonna say, I think for us, for a long time, I was just wondering, like, I only know how I feel. Amy only knows what she thinks and how she feels. And I think for a while, we just assumed, why, why isn't Amy acting like I do, or why isn't her desire like mine? And she's wondering why is Nick's desire like his is. But we really started having some good conversations, and I tried to understand what she was thinking, and she wanted me to
Mm-hmm.
understand.
Mm-hmm.
And vice
That's
versa. I
right.
tried to explain, hey, here's what my mind's thinking and how my body works and things like that. And I think once we started to try to understand each other and recognize that, for Nick, it's not just about physical. It
Mm-hmm.
is he wants to be close to me, he desires me, and for Amy, it's about this. Like I think once we understood more in depth, like that's when our intimacy really changed as well too,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah. And for women, when a husband is like trying to understand you and he's like, hey, I want to know you. I want to feel you. I want to know what turns you on. And if that's emotional, what does that look like? What can I do better? Like how do I get to that
And
place, how do we get to that? Not you, but how do we get to that place where you feel like, okay, we're emotionally connected. Like that is what makes marriage amazing. And when a husband cares about that and he's trying to talk to you about that, like I don't think a lot of husbands understand how attractive that is. And that's why these conversations are so great. The would you rather, the regular conversation starters on that. We have hundreds of different topics, the finances, goals, family, spiritual. And then you add the intimate conversation starters that are on there and like, what does emotional foreplay look like to you? What does physical foreplay look like to you? How can I be a better spouse so that you want to be intimate? Like when a husband starts asking those kind of questions, she's like, oh my gosh, like he really cares. Like this is not about sex to him. This is like, he wants me to enjoy it. He wants, like, it's husbands. It comes down to conversations. Like you hear all the time, like, women have to be emotionally connected first. Like, what an easy and great way to do that when you can just jump on the app. And I'm not just trying to pitch that. Like a lot of the conversations are just free. Like we want you to be connected. That's why they're free. Like just get it for that one reason if that's all you need.
yeah, oh, 100% agree with that. Like
So,
I
yeah.
I mean, I not too much info, but like, when Amy and I have like really good long conversations, the chances of us connecting intimately are a lot more likely, right?
Right.
Because we've
Right.
just connected emotionally and we're both feeling closer to each other. And like those, like we always talk about, those things go hand in hand. So,
And and when he says good conversations, it means listening. It means caring. Like I'm genuinely, truly interested in all the things that you have to say and having these deep discussions. I want to be here. I don't want to be on my phone
yeah,
unless you're talking off the conversations. Right?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Fact number two, there is no normal amount of desire. No quote normal. Libido varies widely between every individual, can change over stages in your life, and what's normal and works for you, you shouldn't compare to others. So when we say what's the average time that you should be in the mood or all those things, like this is going to look different to everyone. Some men are like, I would love it every day. I know that's not ever going to work.
For sure.
Some husbands are like, oh, I need it once a month because I'm the lower drive. Some women like never want it, and some women have really high drives. Like it's just you just can't compare. And when we say like libido comes more from emotions and not all physical, that's because every relationship looks so different.
Yeah, but I want to hit on something that we've talked about in the previous episodes as well too. Just think of we're talking about how it's tied to like your emotions, right? And
Right.
also like the mental side of things. So if you're a husband or you're a wife that's very negative about sex, that right there is going to shut things down pretty much permanently, right?
Okay.
Sex is
Yeah.
going to feel like a
Okay.
chore. You're never going to want to do it. So even just like having a positive outlook on approaching, sex with a positive outlook. Like, hey, this isn't just about this. This is about more connecting. This is about our marriage getting closer together. I recognize that my spouse needs this, and because it's important to them, I want to make it a priority. And so, I don't
And
know.
it goes the other way around.
Yeah, oh,
Husband,
absolutely. It goes both ways.
no, but husbands, when you realize, like what Nick just said, do the opposite, but for emotional connection. When you're talking to her, when you're romancing her, when you're taking her on date, when you're pursuing her and having these conversations, like, I love you, I want to show you that I love you. Same thing.
Well,
Same
think,
thing, right? Like if you have a negative attitude against, I don't know why we have to talk for an hour. Or I don't know why I have to keep dating you. We've been married so long, we know each other. Like he's saying, change your attitude about sex. I'm saying change your attitude about connecting and pursuing
yeah.
each other and dating each other. Like if sex is so tied to emotions and her drive, his drive are so connected to life and teamwork and raising family together and being connected, like literally being connected, like you have to have a good attitude on what that looks like and what effort that takes too. That takes a lot of effort.
Oh, anything that's worthwhile in marriage takes
Right.
a lot of effort, right? Like,
Right.
you hear people say, "Oh, I don't want to put in forth the effort; it's too hard." But I
It's
mean, if you want to
not.
get marriage, it's going to be hard work. That's the way it's meant to be. It's not
Right.
like you're. everyone that has a good marriage works really hard at it.
Really hard at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not, they're not just coasting through and the stars aligned and
I
everything's
don't think
great.
anybody got to their wedding in day and I mean, yeah, we're not taught a lot about marriage before we get married, but I don't think anyone's taught like it's going to be easy. Like, is
I
that
think we assume it's going to be
really?
because during the dating stage, for a lot of
Because
us, we don't have kids. Finances usually aren't
I
an
don't think we
issue.
realize like how hard it's going to be, but I don't think I
Yeah.
went into marriage being like it's going to be so easy. Like I watched my parents grow up. We watched our parents grow up. We watched them go through hard things. We watched them get in fights. We watched them, get over fights and keep going. And I don't think I went into marriage being like it's going to be peaches and cream. Like it, you
Yeah.
know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? So, anyways, I speaking of marriage being hard, yeah, we make it harder, I think. I think if we had these conversations where we sat down once a week and said, we're going on a date and we're going to hit 10 conversations started tonight and just learn about each other and we're not going to be on our phones, I think you would see marriages change just from that one thing.
Well, and you're exactly right. We do make it harder. If our marriage is really struggling, it's because of choices we've made or
Right.
things that we're not
Selfishness.
doing, or,
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
you're
Yep.
you're gonna have things in marriage that are tough, but you can still get through the tough times and have a really strong marriage if you're doing the right things.
Absolutely. We know so many. That's what's so sad, like being on social media and stuff. I'm like, we know like so many people are so negative. It's like we know so many amazing marriages. Like we truly do. Like I can count, I just could make the biggest list of people that I know that have great marriages. And I'm like, every single one of them works really hard at it.
For sure.
And
Yeah.
and they don't look at it as work because their marriage is so great that it's more just a blessing that they get to put effort into something that's such a blessing. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so those
Well,
super happy, healthy marriages are working hard at it, but they're not looking at it as work. They're looking at it as like, I get to serve my spouse. Like, I get to love
well,
my spouse. I chose my spouse.
anything you do in life that's rewarding is hard.
Right.
So,
Careers, everything. Yep. Okay, number 3 is libido naturally fluctuates across life phases. Factors such as menstrual cycles, pregnancy, menopause, stress, and more shape how desire ebbs and flows. And I know that those are pregnancy, all that stuff is like a lot of women's stuff. A lot of men do complain about the stress issue if they have the lower libido. But I think it's important to remember, like I know we've said comments like this before on our podcast, like, oh, I'm sure Nick wishes that I had the drive that I had when we first got married. I think it's really important for both people to understand, like, that's marriage. Like our bodies changed. We've had children.
we're at a different season in life.
Women go through a lot every single month. Like it's thank you to all the men that understand that and realize like how hard that can be for some women. And it's a big deal. Like our home hormones can be all over the place. And so just realizing that the drive is not always about you. It's not because I don't love you or I'm not attracted to you. A lot of the time it is other things. And that just takes, again, communication.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Just takes communication. Number 4 is women's long-term sexual desire is more variable than men's. However, short-term fluctuations day to day are actually similar for both of the sexes. So, okay, I have to think about this. Women's long-term sexual desire is more variable than men's. I Personal experience, I agree. I don't know other people's situations besides what we hear, but for us, absolutely. Like Nick's stayed pretty constant, and mine went from like strong to low to kind of strong to low. Nick's like lower and lower. But it's not that we don't have a great marriage. I think a lot of it is running a business, being busy, literally fatigue and body things. We're gonna get into that. Like,
Well, and we've talked about this before. I think a lot of women, when they're stressed, that's the last thing they want to do. And for a lot of men, when they
yeah,
get stressed, that's one of the first things they want to do, right? Like,
right.
I want to connect with my spouse and just get my mind off these things and
Women are
feel,
like, don't touch
yeah.
me.
So yeah, I mean, we kind of, in many ways, react to different things oppositely,
Right.
but that's okay. I mean, that again, having that
Talking.
good
Hmm.
communication and talking about
Hmm.
those
And
things.
just being understanding. Yeah, being understanding. Knowing that it's natural that during these stages it's going to drop and and having that conversation once again, like how do
And
I
I,
help you? How do we get through this stage? How do we keep our marriage passionate? Like let's talk about what you need.
And I think that's what's great is, if you're talking, there's probably going to be some give and take, right? Like
Right.
we talk about this all the time. You
Right.
know, and that's the great thing. Like it doesn't have to be perfect for Amy. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be perfect for me. It's we find something that works that we're both happy with, right?
Right.
So
And let me I know I'm always saying I have low, 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 low drive. We still have a great intimate life because I still prioritize it because I am responsive, which means that like if he's like, okay, sorry, I say like a lot and I noticed that. I'm trying hard not to, but I can't catch
Very
myself.
good.
If Nick was like, hey, can we be intimate later tonight? I just automatically be like, I'm gonna keep stopping myself. I'll be, yeah, I think I can get in the mood later and I have a positive mindset about it. And then I'm responsive. So he does certain things and I put myself in the mood. It starts with a good attitude, right? So you
Oh
don't
yeah.
have to have this high libido to still have an amazing, I just don't want to like scare men off like, oh, I'm sorry, she has a low drive. It's over for you. Like it's not. Like you can be
Well, that
responsive and have a really low drive and still have a great intimate life. It's just not going to look as all of a sudden like, oh, let's go do it, babe, which I know men would love,
yeah,
but it's not going to probably look like
but
that.
I think we also recognize too the importance of foreplay, right? Like,
Right.
that's the whole
Right.
purpose of foreplay. You're not in the mood, but you're
Mhm.
willing
To
to
get in
do
the mood.
things to get in the mood,
To
right?
get in the mood.
Yep.
Exactly. So, men, if you have a great emotional connection, she's going to be more willing, even if she's not in the mood, never even thinking about it, to use foreplay to get in the mood. Like, that's the whole point, right? That's what foreplay is for. I'm
Yep.
glad you brought that up because that's literally how it works.
Yeah.
If she's responsive desire and she's willing because your marriage is so good, then
Yeah.
that's where foreplay comes in.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 5 is good health habits matter. Nutrition, exercise, quality sleep, stress levels, mental health, all completely change or influence your libido.
Yeah. I agree 100%.
100%. If you're eating like crap, if you're not exercising, if you're depressed, you're gonna be like, don't touch
Yeah. The
me. I
last
don't
thing.
feel good. I don't think we need to go into that one because we talk all the time how like spiritual, mental, physical, sexual,
And
like they're
I
so
think all of
intertwined.
you recognize that and probably agree
Right.
with us as well too. I mean,
Right.
that's kind of a
Kind of
given.
common sense. Yeah. 6, low libido is actually super common, especially among women. Up to 1 in 5 men, even more women experience it. Let's see, up to 1 in 5 men and even more women experience it at some point. For women, low desire is the most frequently reported sexual dysfunction.
Yeah.
So if Austin's correct that libido is tied to emotional, what is going on in your marriage that is making it low,
Yeah.
right? And
Well,
it's not, I don't want to say that it's all emotional because yeah, you can go get testosterone shots. I have friends that have gotten the pellets. You can do things, take herbs, take natural stuff to up
here,
your drive, right? So it is somewhat physical.
here's a great example. Our whole
Okay.
story, right? So Amy comes to me with a bedroom game and she's like, something's wrong. I just don't, something's wrong with
I
me,
just don't have the
right?
desire
I
I
don't have
used
the
to.
desire I
Yeah.
used to. And she thought it was a physical thing. And lo and behold, we liked the game was amazing. Obviously, we designed the app and everything, but everything got better not because of that, because like we always talk about, we started talking about everything. When we could talk about sex, we started talking about everything.
And we had a lot
So
of emotional issues going on.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like, what really fixed us or really helped us was the emotional side of things. We kind of ran into it accidentally
Yeah.
or it was kind of backwards for us. But the point I'm trying to make is,
Mhm.
when our emotional intimacy got so much better,
Mhm.
that's when things
Right.
really changed, right? So
Right. I'm glad you brought that up because like we kind of did do it backwards, but like I thought, oh, I'm bored in the bedroom.
it's
So
a physical thing,
it's
like,
physical
yeah.
things. Like why am I not feeling like the way I used to? And it's because we were going through so many hard things in our marriage and we weren't connecting emotionally at the moment. I didn't feel listened to, I didn't feel heard. I felt like I was doing everything. That will kill your drive so fast.
Now, having said that, the second part of that is there's absolutely a physical component, right? Like
Mhm.
if a woman's not enjoying it, like, you know,
Absolutely.
then they're not going to enjoy it. And so there is a physical component, but we're talking about the,
Mhm.
having the desire, right? The emotional
Right.
side of things. First of all, having the desire, and then once they have the desire, there can be a physical side of things.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, we're talking about the
Okay, so I
emotional.
saw a comment the other day that says, like, the guy was like, why are all you men saying that your wife never wants it? make it better for her. Make it better. Great sex is never denied. If you make her love sex, she's going to want sex. And so I'm glad that you brought up the physical component of that because if she truly enjoys it and it feels good and she has an orgasm every single time and it's actually pleasurable for her and she feels united during it, she's going to have that attitude that like, yeah,
Yeah,
get me in the mood. I'd love you to get me in the mood,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Like you got to make it amazing for her
Rather than
too.
feeling like, oh, this is all about him. Like,
Right. That'll kill it.
I hate doing this.
If it's all about one person, it's gonna
Yeah.
just, yeah. Okay. Next one, number 7. Low libido isn't just a part of aging. In women over 60, contributors to lower desire often include fatigue, body image, relationship factors, and physical ailments, not just aging itself. So I'm not sure how many listeners we have like up in that age bracket, but
We have quite a few actually.
do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just saying like that's normal. Like your body is changing, you're getting older. But I've also actually heard a lot of women that like in retirement stages and above, they're like, oh, it's actually better than ever. So
Yeah.
I
I
don't know,
mean,
maybe you have less mental stress, maybe because the kids are gone, or maybe because you're in retirement, you're like, if you work on that emotional and your friendships there, you know, this is a great stage of life. We're really connected,
exactly. And I
right?
look at it like kind of like a car, right? Like your car's starting to break down, things are going wrong. It's kind of like our bodies, right? Like when your car's
Hmm.
not working properly and it's breaking down, like I mean, your body's the same way. You're not gonna have the desire for it. You're just
Yep.
not.
Yep.
But yeah,
Or
for
maybe if you're breaking down and then you have a good one, you're like, this is great. I feel better at the moment, right?
took it to
Help.
the repair shop. Um,
Oh, I like
yeah,
it. Take it to Okay, moving on. Number 8, hormones like oxytocin shape sexual motivation. Oxytocin enhances pleasure and emotional bonding, while in women, um, let's see, I don't know anything about vasopressin, and it talks about that. So I'm not going to get into that because I don't want to talk about stuff that I can't talk about. But oxytocin, we know, is that love bonding hormone that comes from kissing, comes from giving your spouse a hug, like physical touch. Lots of different ways we get that, right? And so it's saying the more oxytocin you get and the more emotional bonding you get because of that, it can actually increase your libido.
oh, for
So I
sure.
think the studies have just shown us, you know, the more you have non-sexual touch on a daily basis, like instead of waiting, and we have episodes just on this, but instead of waiting till that day, touching your wife, touching your husband after, during, the day after, the second day after, and making sure that's more consistent
Yeah, just
actually is giving you that hormone, that connecting, and it just makes your drive higher. So
oh
that's awesome.
yeah, yeah, I agree.
I'm not a physical touch person, which probably is hurting my
No, that's
libido.
okay. No, I mean we're all different, right? That's getting into
Right.
the love languages, but that's okay.
But but that kind of makes sense though, because if you're not a physical touch person, you're not getting that oxytocin that people that are all over each other are getting. And when that starts to die down in marriage, that physical touch love language, if it dies down at all and you're missing that, it's actually saying that it's kind of lowering
Yeah,
your
for sure,
libido. So that
for
just
sure.
makes, I don't know, I just had that little light bulb go off,
Well, it's
right?
just
Like
like
that
going
makes
and working
sense.
out every day, right? You stop working out every day. You maybe don't notice it immediately, but your muscles are going to start
Hmm.
deteriorating. You're not going to be as strong. And then pretty soon you're like, what just
Wait a
happened to me,
second. Yeah.
right? I mean, it's just kind of a slow process, and what you're saying is exactly right. And I think
Good analogy,
same thing, right?
right? Good
We
analogy.
don't recognize what it's doing or maybe the damage it's causing, but I don't
Right.
know, it's just so I don't know. I think it's so important just to like just the little things like holding hands and
Mhm.
just hugging and kissing and just like you said, just be doing those things.
I was thinking of a story, but
Let's hear it.
well, okay.
You're gonna totally embarrass me or catch me up.
It was last night. Our daughter, we've already shared this in an episode, but we have our hot tub and our daughter's window is on the second floor
Oh,
and overlooks it. And so when she's awake, she's a cross country runner, and so they go to bed at like 9. And so we usually get in the hot tub like most nights, literally, or every other night, and just like that's where we can have some really deep conversations. It's great. It's like our us time every night or every other night. And she usually is looking out the window like, don't get close to each other. That's gross. Don't be kissing in the hot tub. Like she's so funny like that.
Oh
But
yeah.
last night she went to bed. I know that the house was like dark. Like all our kids were like sound asleep. And Nick came up and like started rubbing my shoulders and like, it's the hot tub. And it was great. And it just stayed there. But it was like he was touching me and it felt good. And I was thinking just how I don't remember what I was thinking because I'm in my 40s and I already forgot my train of thought.
Must not have been so good.
No, but I was
I'm
just thinking
joking.
like when you touch each other and when you do those things that like we fell in love in the hot tub, I swear, like in our first year of marriage, we did it all the time. And like when you bring back those emotions and you're like touching each other again, you're like, okay, like we're really connected. It changes everything. I don't remember where I was going with that, but maybe that's all I was going to. Like touch each other. That was my point. Touch each other. It's literally helps your libido.
Yeah, for
And even
sure.
if you're not physical touch like me, like I'm not a super touchy-feely person. I still love it when he comes on the side. Like I tried at church yesterday to rub his neck and rub his back, and he's like, "Oh, I love it when you do that." And I'm like, "I need to be better at that." And so find the time to touch each other more, especially when you're feeling distant.
Yeah, agreed.
And it
Yeah.
doesn't have to lead to anything. That was my point. It doesn't have to lead to anything.
Yep.
Okay, next one. 9. Libido isn't just modern, it's psychological energy. It is somebody quotes this, says that libido is the unconscious life force driving behavior, not just sexual desire. It is literally a psychic energy or desire. I don't know where this one came from, and I don't know who the people are that said this, but it kind of makes sense. Like, is an unconscious life force driving behavior, but not just sexual. What
Yeah.
do you take of that?
No, I agree. Like sometimes we do things and we don't know like how it impacts us, but
Hmm.
subconsciously there might be a lot of benefits. Like we
Right.
just live a happier life, we act a certain way, our attitude's a certain way. Maybe we're not consciously thinking about it, but just good things that we
Hmm.
implement in our life cause us to be just a much better person or different in so many ways. And so yeah,
Hmm.
I think subconsciously um yeah, it might just make you not necessarily thinking about it, but
Yeah.
subconsciously have that desire
Right.
or be emotionally connected, like you were talking about.
Right. Let's see. Stress, number 10, stress, relationships, mental health influence libido. Tension, mood issues, relationship difficulties are common contributors to low or inconsistent desire. This one I kind
For
of feel like
sure.
is a repeat, but it's telling you, especially for women, stress, relationship issues, mental health influence libido, tension, mood issues, relationship difficulties. I'm just sorry, I'm repeating that, but I don't think a lot of husbands understand how much of the things that they're doing in the home, the way they're talking to their wife, the way they're treating their wife, we're not talking like you have to just fire flowers all the time and go extreme. Just those little daily interactions. It's saying like those change and make the world of difference in a woman's libido.
Yeah, I think to simplify this, like you help your wife's mental load, that's gonna probably raise her libido, so to speak.
Yep,
And again, we're not talking physically, we're talking she's going to feel emotionally connected, she's not going to feel as stressed. Like it really is that simple. You
it
help her
is. It
reduce
is.
her mental load, whatever that is.
Mhm.
It could
Talk
be
about
could be
it.
stress, could be feeling like too much stuff's on her plate, it could be, you know, whatever she's
Right,
thinking of. Reduce the mental load
right.
and
Reduce the mental load. And we already did an entire podcast episode on mental load. Men have one too. Like we understand that. You just have to talk about it. You
but
have to
again, I
find that deep
think
conversation.
for a lot of men having that mental load gets them to want to be connecting, right? Because they're kind of
Hmm.
like, I want to connect with my wife. I want to kind of forget what's going on, what I'm
Hmm.
stressed about. And we can do that. Like,
Hmm.
there's no question. Like, I don't care how stressed I am. Like,
It's true.
when I'm being intimate with you, that's like the one time I'm actually able to forget about those things and focus on each other.
Yeah.
And I think men recognize that, and that's,
Mhm.
they're like, that's what I want. I want to be able to connect and forget about those things.
And when we were in our darkest place, like when things were really off with us, he wanted it like all the time. And I was like, I do not want it all the time. I want it never. Like we are not connected. Like, and we have had to learn how to okay, this is your drive. This is my drive. What do you need? Like what works for you? And have those conversations like
Hmm.
all the time because it said on one of these facts, it changes during the stages.
For
That
sure.
can be a monthly thing, that could be a weekly thing, that could be a yearly thing. Like, got to talk about it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
100%.
last one, number 11. Women may reach their sexual peak in their 30s. Confidence, body awareness, emotional maturity, and lower body image slash stress contribute to higher satisfaction or being, having better body image, higher satisfaction during this time. Women reach their sexual peak in their 30s. I would have to say that was our most because it's not everybody, obviously. That was the hardest stage for us because we were going through some serious stuff, especially like
Yeah.
early 30s, late 20s. I would say the first of marriage was way higher for me, but I definitely think for me personally, body awareness, emotional maturity probably hit me pretty hard in the 40s because I think now I'm like, okay, I like who I am. I know who I am. I'm not, we're kind of over some of the really hard things that we've been through. And even though my libido hasn't like jumped up high, my attitude about being intimate has definitely changed and we are more connected because we can have these more mature conversations.
100%. I was just going to say, we've done so many episodes on this, and you're often mentioning, I have a lower libido, but I don't know that, after talking with Austin and everything like that, I don't know that you do have a lower libido because I think in our relationship, we have a great sex life. In our relationship, when you and I are more connected, like everything's great, right?
Right.
Like even though we're different and I'm really pursuing it, and maybe you're not the one necessarily pursuing it, that's okay. And I think that's the
Mhm.
way most marriages are. I
Well,
think that's the way we're designed is men and women is that the men kind of pursue their wives, and I think that's a good
mhm.
thing, right? So, what I
Yeah.
was gonna say is, this whole time when maybe you're saying, "Oh, I have a lower libido," I don't maybe it's not really like Austin said tied to the physical as much as the emotional and mental, which when you and I are in a really good place there, which I would say is most of the time, right?
Mhm.
Like that's when things and most couples would probably say that as well too.
I think, and maybe I'm wrong, you guys can email us if I'm wrong. It's totally fine. I guess my thought process was like when I had a high libido, I was asking for it more. I was actually wanting it more. I was like climbing on him and being like, hey, let's go make out,
That is true.
whatever.
That is
So
true.
I guess like, and maybe it's a lot of our talking and our discussions that make me feel like I have a little libido because he's always having to pursue me now. Even though I can initiate, I'm not in the mood. I'm actually not thinking about it. Like I try really hard to be like, hey, you want to make love tonight? Every once in a while, but I'm not thinking about it. I'm not actually like, oh, I really want it. It's still one of those like I'm willing to get in the mood later. So I think in my personal mind is I've lost my drive because I'm not the one that's ever thinking about I need it. I could probably go 3 weeks and not even notice. And that's why I think my drive is lower. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? But I like what you said. Like it's not like I'm broken or people with a low drive can't have an amazing intimate life. I'm just responsive, and I love that we've learned that. And
And
that
that's the
that
thing.
Laura, we did that podcast episode on Laura's article about responsive and spontaneous desire. Like it's okay for your libido to be a responsive drive. Like as long as you're discussing it and communicating about it and making it
And
work
I
in your
think
marriage, it
And I
works.
think too, if you recognize that, say, I am responsive, therefore I'm not going to be the one to initiate very often or what have you, but I'm open to it because I know that once we get into it, like it
It's
feels
gonna be
good, it's
good. Yeah.
connecting, like we both enjoy being intimate together. And I think, again, I think that's okay. I think, what we're talking about is probably 90% of the couples out there,
Yeah.
right? So
One way or the other. Yeah.
but a lot of people just look at it and say, oh, someone's broken
Hmm.
and someone's not broken. And in reality, we just keep hitting on this point. If you're more emotionally connected, um, naturally you're going to be connecting more intimately.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Hopefully.
think
Hopefully.
I don't want to jump off on anything, you know, but you often hear of like couples that like are never intimate, and then the spouse goes out and they have an affair, and all of a sudden the
Mm-hmm.
fire's stoked again, and you're
Mm-hmm.
like,
You're like, wait a second. I thought you didn't have a drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but my whole point of that is that's probably because there's some emotional connection there that there isn't happening in the marriage,
There's that newness
right? It's
feeling.
not
Yeah.
necessarily a sexual thing. It leads to that, but it's more of probably starts out of
Mhm.
at the workplace and someone's, willing to
Attention.
talk to me and give me attention and have these great conversations and whatever. It starts out as probably that emotional affair and
Mhm.
then leads to the sexual side of things. So I,
They relight that spark that they're missing in their marriage. We're not saying
yeah,
this is just the situations that we hear, right? Because a lot of husbands will be like, my wife had an affair, but yet she told me she had no drive. She never wanted to touch me. Like, you have to
exactly.
keep that spark lit in your own marriage, which comes down to conversations and dating and pursuing each other and flirting and sending her that text and telling her how beautiful she is. And it goes both ways. Like, I'm not
And
saying it's a
that's
guy's job. Like, it goes both
and
ways.
that's the point I'm trying to make is in reality we'll call it libido. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be tied to your emotional connection.
100%.
And that's all I'm trying to say to
100%.
simplify it. And so, yeah, if you feel like you're lacking in this area, you're just not connected sexually, I would try connecting emotionally. I would try sitting
Always.
down and talking and saying, "Hey, what can I do to fulfill your emotional needs more, to help
Mhm.
you with the mental load and just those things and
Right.
have these great conversations together, start dating each
Mhm.
other, and you're going to see every aspect of your marriage get better."
Right. Agreed.
So,
Once again, start out with that conversation piece. How can I love you better today? How can I be a better spouse today? If you literally asked your spouse that every single morning and you cared about the answer, I did a post on that last night. If you just cared about the answer, your spouse said, you know what, I would love if you initiated today. And you're like, you know what, I love you. I care about that answer. I'm gonna try it this week or tomorrow, and I'm gonna put myself in the mood. Or if I said, I would really love it if you did like put some real thought into dinner tomorrow night and you took care of that for me. I would really love that. And the husband was like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna do that for her. I love her. If you did that every day, and even if it was something simple, like I wish you would text me a flirty text during lunch and tell me something that would make my day. And the wife was like, oh my gosh, like that's so simple. I'm gonna do that. If
and
you asked your spouse and you were honest with each other, and then both of you cared about that answer, like your marriage would change.
And some of you out there are thinking, I shouldn't have to tell my spouse what I need.
No,
They
you
should
don't.
already know.
They
No,
won't.
no, it's
They
not the
won't.
way it works. So you do have to talk to each other.
You
I
do.
mean, Amy came up to me yesterday, and I think he said, what can I do? What did you say? What can I do to show you I love you today?
What did you say?
I said, you can make love to me later.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then
Flowers. Yeah.
I said, what can I do to
Right.
show you that I love you? And
Yeah.
so, anyways, like I said, we practice what we preach,
Right.
right? We
Right.
totally do.
Yep. Yep. So that's all we got.
So we hope you enjoyed the podcast. Until next time, we hope all of you find ultimate intimacy in your relationship.